Councilman.
My issue is basically what's going on in the city, basically with police. And I know we're doing the best we can with less. But I thought, with zero tolerance, as mentioned, zero tolerance, cutting curfew down to 10 o'clock, I think would be a great help. It would take the load off our police department. We don't have enough manpower to chase these juveniles around. We have 2 police stations right now that we can open up. And we can use the police stations as a processing place for us right now. And the juveniles that did break the curfew, they're taken home to their parents the first time. First offenders are taken home, and we keep accountability of these. Second time, there has to be accountability to the parents. We need these individuals off the street so our police department can get a hand on the crime that's going down to the random shooters. I'm willing to stand alongside you with zero tolerance. This is me. And try to move the city forward as long as you're going to stand there, right there, and we're going to not tolerate any of these shootings that are going on. And sit down with a plan. I'm willing to put my expertise along with the police director, whatever we have to do to take control of our city and control it back to where it should be. That the residents of the city don't fear going out, don't fear going down a highway being stopped by hoodlums on the ATVs, which there's a video out. Anybody can look at it. I have it here, it's posted, that they actually stopped it on 29 and said, we own the city. They shut the city down. 29 they shut down. There's also a picture of the beating in front of the Marriott. Nobody came out to help anybody getting beaten. They're beaten down with sticks. I know we're short-handed, but we have to take some kind of a stance. Our police department is overwhelmed with the work, and I always said we can't do more or less, but we have to do what we can, what we have. And I know they're out there and trying to put out the best they can do. But I'm willing, once again, to stand with you, with zero tolerance to start somewhere, instead of drawing a line in the sand and saying we ain't going to tolerate it. I put this out to you that we can try to do better.
Well, one of the things we're going to do, we'll take your information on the advisement, and I'll certainly forward it to Director Rivera and see if we can work on some kind of plan.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you spoke about the municipal court fees, but what I remember seeing in the budget, going through the budget, that we are projecting $1 million less to be collected this year. Could you explain why that is?
Okay, I'm not familiar with that portion of the budget, but Mr. B.A. at the appropriate time, you'd be able to have more definitive answers for you. I'm just not familiar with that portion of it.
Okay, and as far as the learning centers, Mr. Mayor, and recreation, what steps has your administration taken to secure sponsorships of these learning centers and recreation?
Well, as you know now, they're running with volunteers. So volunteers, less the security detail. Volunteers are managing the learning center. So that's, in a sense, a savings and offsetting costs to operate them. I know we're meeting with Mr. Roberts, who reached out to Princeton Foundation. The Princeton Foundation has I believe six learning, don't quote me, maybe 19 learning centers in Princeton that kind of resemble what we're doing. So we're meeting with them to try and figure out how they fundraise, how they operate, and how they maintain services for their residents.
So, Mr. Mayor, with that being said, wouldn't it have made more sense to do that research first before opening up the learning centers? Because, and I say that because for the public, Mr. Mayor, you're proposing $1.1 million for recreation, which is all city tax dollars. That doesn't include any grants. That doesn't include any sponsorships or anything. And when I say sponsorships, I mean sponsorships like Johnson & Johnson, Bristol-Myers Squibb, Capital Health, St. Francis, Hutchison Industry, the Cubic Group, some of the businesses that are right here in the city. So 1.1 million is strictly coming from proposed taxpayer dollars. That's the type of sponsorship that I'm referring to. And it just makes more sense to me that Mr. Roberts should have did more looking into how learning centers run and are funded, or how we can get corporate funders for it. And then we could have had a conversation with council and have a better understanding. My concern about the learning centers, and I need to be clear, that I'm not against children learning. I'm not against our children having recreation. But what I am against is a 19-cent tax increase. And I do understand, Mr. Mayor, as you pointed out, that DCA requires us to show a need. I understand that. And I appreciate the work of the administration taking us from one point, from the 7 million down to 4 million. But Mr. Mayor, we have to get it down below that. Because I spoke to seniors. I went over to the Sam Lincoln Center because folks were concerned about closing those centers. And I spoke to those residents there. It's about 50 of them, 50 seniors there. And they said that they cannot afford a tax increase of 19 cents. I've spoken to residents in my own civic association in Hiltonia, and the folks there have said that they cannot take a 19-cent tax increase. So, Mr. Mayor, I think we need to do a little more research. And from my standpoint, I am recommending that we not fund those things and we look at these recreational programs, that maybe we need to look at hiring somebody else to administer them so that we don't incur the staffing and all of that stuff. We can work that out with someone else running it. If we have students, we have lifeguards, then let's hire someone else and we give money to them and let them be responsible. We just can't afford this. And I, just as you, was an athlete growing up. And I will sit here and I will say that baseball, soccer, track helped save me too. But the times are different. And, excuse me, Mr. Roberts, is there something you want to say?
Yes, I just introduced my name, my life, come to the podium for a second.
Can I finish?
Sure,
to the mayor, please?
Okay, Mr. Roberts, did you miss it? Were you here?
No, I did not, but